Hey guys, it's Miss Alicia, spiritual wellness mindset coach. I help people who struggle with forgiveness and the negative impact of starting over. I am not a doctor. I'm your life coach. Today's message is coming from Genesis chapter 24, verses 1 through 60. Yeah, it's a lot of verses, but guess what? It's a blessing in all of those verses. I want to know, has anyone ever come up to you and said, you know what? You really look handsome. You are good looking. You are really pretty. You are cute. And in that split second in your mind, you saying, is this a joke? I didn't even shower. My hair ain't even combed. I ain't even got on no decent clothes. But see, what you need to realize is that everybody is not looking on the outside. They've noticed possibly your heart posture. You understand? Or has anyone ever asked you to take an oath, to promise them that you would do something for them? And you accepted that oath and you were focused on getting it done. Have you ever been given an ultimatum? Or has someone ever said, you know what? I've been watching you and you fit something that I prayed about. Has that ever happened to you? Well, today's message is called, they've been watching you the whole time and you didn't know it. It's not on you, it's in you. I'm going to give you a couple definitions before we get started to break this message down. The first definition is the word pleasant. And pleasant is a sense of happy satisfaction or enjoyment. The next one is the word choice. Choice is the act of selecting or making a decision. The next word is sign. Sign is an object. It's a quality or an event. And lastly, the word silence. Silence is a complete absence of sound, meaning it's suppressed, meaning that it's been prevented from showing some type of expression. Now, this message is about Abraham in his old age, speaking to his servant, telling him he wanted him to take an oath to find his son a wife. Okay? Trust me. Pay attention. Listen up. And after all of this is over, in your spare time, and make it soon, to go to your Bible, to Genesis chapter 24, and read all of it, okay? Read it for understanding. Ask God, God, is there anything in this lesson for me? Is there anything in here personally for me or something I need to share with somebody else? Is there something I need to look out for? I guarantee you, God will show you something just for you. So it says, in Abraham, you know Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. In Abraham's old age, God had blessed him to be very wealthy, okay? And it says that his wife, Sarah, had passed on. But in her old age, she gave him a baby, and they named him Isaac. So it says that one day, Abraham called his oldest servant in. He said, come here. He said, I want to talk to you. So a servant, it says it's his oldest servant, the one that's over his household. He said, come here. He said, I want you to make an oath to me. He said, I want you to put your hand under my thigh and make a promise to me that you will never let my son Isaac marry any of these local Canaanite women. So his servant said, okay, so what you saying? And he said, I want you to go to my homeland, among my people, among my relatives, and find my son a wife. So the servant said, okay, so if I go there and I find a wife, right? But she don't want to come back here. She don't want to travel all the way back here. You want me to take Isaac down there and let him live down there? He said, no. He said, no. And be careful never to take my son there. He said, the Lord who delivered me from my homeland that brought me here, he said, this is what the Lord has blessed me to have, this land for my descendants. I don't never want my son to go there. It's here. So his servant said, okay. And by the way, Abraham told him, he said, now listen, if they decide that they don't want to come, you find them, they say they don't want to come, I'm going to release you from this oath. You free and clear. You did what I asked you, and it's done between me and you. No hard feelings. I appreciate you, right? So it says that the servant agreed and said, okay. He put his hand up under his thigh. He took the oath. You understand? And it says that the servant gathered up 10 camels, and they put the most expensive gifts on them candles, or on those camels. And it said that he set out to a place called Aram Haram. Okay? And this is where his brother, Abraham's brother Nahor, lives. This is his town. And it says that when the servant got there, on the outskirts of the town, he stopped at a well. And he told his camels to kneel down. And at that point, he said it was evening time. This is where the women come out to draw water from the well. And he said that he started to pray. And he said, Lord, the God of my master, he said, if you will please bless me to be successful today. He said, my request is that I'm going to ask one of these women if they will give me a drink of water and offer to give my camels some water. Then I'll know that the Lord has showed unfailing love for my master. It says before he even finished praying, here come Rebecca. Rebecca got the water pot on her shoulder, and she minding her own business, walking on over to the well. So mind you, the servant, he just watching in silence. See, y'all never know who watching you. You understand? They ain't watching you for your good looks. They ain't watching you for the ornaments in our hair, the eyelashes. Not that that don't mean anything. That's a personal thing. And a lot of us, we like it because we see it as part of our hygiene, or we just show self-love. But I'm just letting you know that when the Lord sends a blessing, that blessing is going to be beyond the outside, but the inner side, the heart of a person. Okay? So he's sitting back and he's just watching. And she took the water pot down where she took it, and then she came back and drew again. And that was his cue. So he ran up to her and he was like, excuse me. He said, can I get a drink of water from your water pot? And she's like, yeah, sure, And I could give your camels some water too. I can give them more than all that they need. Says that he started worshiping the Lord right then for a quick moment. That's something that we all can do more often. That as we see things playing out or our blessings coming to fruition, always remember to give God the glory. You don't have to wait till later. You could just quickly close your eyes and thank you, Lord. So anyway, it says that she went on and got some more water, poured it in the water trough. The camels is drinking. And so it says when they finished drinking the water, he pulled out a gold nose ring and 2 gold bracelets. And he said, who's your people? Who's your father? Like, where are you from? And she said, oh, my name is Rebecca. My daddy's name is Bethuel, the son of Nahor. and Mikhail. Those are my grandparents. And he like, oh God, Lord, you done led me straight to his people, right? So that's another plus. So he said, well, do you think that y'all could put us up? You think your daddy could put us up for the night? And she said, you know what? I don't think that'll be a problem because, we got plenty of room and we got room for your people and for your animals. So it says that she ran back. Now, mind you, she ran back with this gold nose ring and these gold bracelets. She ran back to the house and she's telling them everything about the man, whoop, whoop, whatever. Said that her brother Laban, y'all gonna find about Laban, what type of person he is later, another chapter. Her brother Laban, he looking at, the gold, and he listening to the story. He done ran out there, okay? And hey, chosen one, he a man of God. He said, what you doing out there? Come on, we got room for you. Okay, we got room for you. Come on. So they went on and went. Says that Laban made sure that the people that they have, must have been servants also, then washed up the camels' feet, their hoofs, and fed the camels, gave them water, gave them some straw to lay on and all that good stuff. Said that they had prepared some food and it was getting ready to eat. And the servant said, wait a minute, you know what? I don't want to eat. I need to tell y'all why I'm here. And so Laban said, well, okay, then, well, why are you here? And he said, and he went on to tell them what Abraham had said to him, how he wanted to have his wife, his son's wife, to come from his homeland. And so they listening like, oh, okay. And so he said, so after he told them everything that they needed to know and why he's here, he said, so I need to know, yes or no, are you willing to let your daughter marry my master's son? He said, by the way, my master is very wealthy. Let me tell you, my master has sheep, goats, donkeys, camels, a herd of cattle, silver, gold, a bunch of female and male servants. He got it all. And he left everything to his son, Isaac. So imagine they listening. They like, well, it sounds like the Lord led you here. So we ain't got nothing to say. So they was like, you can take her. Now this is the daddy, Bethuel and Laban talking about you can take her. So it says that they went on and ate and they spent the night. But it said early the next morning, the servant got up and he said, I want you to release me now. I want to go back to my master. And so they saying, well, wait a minute now. We need at least 10 days to spend with Rebecca before she go. And he said, now, wait a minute. My mission here is complete. It's been successful. And I want to go back. So they said, okay, well, wait a minute. Let's ask Rebecca. Finally, they asked Rebecca. They didn't ask Rebecca if she wanted to take this man in marriage, but let's ask her, is she ready to go back now? So it says that they asked Rebecca, he said he ready to go now, today. Do you want to go? I imagine Rebecca probably thought about that nose ring that she could feel in there. And she looked down at these gold bracelets and she like, you know what? No, I'm going to go. See, one thing about a blessing, it may come. If that don't mean it may stay. You have to be ready, right? You have to be ready. But you also need to be yourself. So it says that she said she would go. So her people said, well, wait a minute. We want to bless you before you go. And so they said, our sister, may you become the mother of many millions. And may you conquer all of your enemies. May your conquerors be strong and conquer all the enemies in those cities. And I'm pretty sure Rebecca's like, thank you, kisses and hugs. And she left. Now, that's not the end of the chapter, but that's where I'm stopping. So you might say, okay, Miss Alicia, I heard the story and I'm going to listen. I'm listening and I'm going to read it in my time, my private time. What are you telling us this story for? Well, I'm glad you asked. If you are in the same character of the servant, somebody has asked you to take an oath, a promise, and you accepted it. Ask God to be a part of your endeavor. I truly believe that when you put God in your endeavor, it can make things much easier, much quicker, much clearer. If you have the characteristics of Rebecca, I believe that Rebecca set a good example, not even knowing it. Rebecca was working, okay? She was doing what she do. She was down there going to get some water. Mind you, it says that she was a virgin and that she was beautiful and she was old enough to marry. But she wasn't being thirsty. When this man asked her who she wasn't like, she wasn't doing none of that. He asked her a question, she answered the question. You understand? She didn't have no thoughts. And if she did, it didn't show the expression in this story. But it just goes to let you know that there are people watching. Your blessing is watching and you don't know it. I want you to think about that today, okay? The word pleasant, choice, sign, silence. Think about it. I'll talk to you soon, okay? Bye.